Well, those who know me know that about the highest praise I can give anyone is to call them a pro, and my next guest is a real pro. It is a loss for the Detroit Free Press and for all of us who have relied on her reporting that she is retiring from the paper, part of a talented foursome that took voluntary retirements rather than having the paper opt for involuntary layoffs. Kathy Gray's been covering Michigan politics for about 2 decades now at the Free. Fortunately, we will have her through the big Michigan primary in March, and she's here to take us through what to expect in the Mint in 2020. Happy New Year, Kathy. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Devin. That was really kind. Thank you very much.
I'm going to miss your reporting a great deal. Let's start with the fact that, so Gretchen Whitmer's been governor now for about a year. What do we know about her now? What do you think can decide about her as a governor? We knew her as a minority leader in Lansing, but what do we know about her now?
Well, you know that she's a tough person. You know, she sticks to her guns. She gets out there. We find out that she's a little bit funny too, and you know we didn't have that too much with the previous governor. And she's got a good sense of humor, but she's tough, and sometimes that has been to her benefit, and other times it hasn't.
You and I were on the porch at Mackinac last, I guess it was at the end of May, and there really was this kumbaya moment as they had the big signing. Everything seemed, you know, the things that we were hearing Republicans and Democrats saying about each other we knew couldn't last, especially once they got down to roads. But the relationship now seems broken, calling each other crazy, unrealistic, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, it has gotten bad fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And it started when Governor Whitmer proposed a 45-cent per gallon gas tax, and that just wasn't going to go anywhere. And it just kind of deteriorated from there. And it got to a point where there was almost a government shutdown because they couldn't get a budget done. They did come to a last-minute deal to avoid that, but there were a lot of vetoes. There were a lot of money transfers that the Republicans were just furious at. But, you know, Governor Whitmer stuck to her guns.
To cut things like Pure Michigan, which is universally loved among Michiganders, does that end up washing up on the legislature and the Republican leadership, or was it the governor's pen that did it and it sticks with her?
Well, there's plenty of people on the Republican side who don't like that Pure Michigan either. They would rather have the businesses pay for their tourism campaigns themselves.
Kind of a purity.
So she was the
different kind of Pure Michigan. Yes.
Right. She was the one who vetoed it, but Republicans didn't squawk very much about that. I don't expect that to come back. I think it might come back in a different form. I don't know if a consortium of hotels and et cetera will get together to continue that, because it is a beloved campaign. It is a very popular campaign, both in Michigan and across the nation. It brings people into the state.
And between that and the autism services cuts she made, I think those were, and these are clearly not the biggest pieces of the budget pie, but they kind of showed us, I think what you said, that she was serious.
Right. Right. You know, she just...
Whether you agreed or disagreed.
The legislature sent her a budget that she just couldn't live with, and that's what she came back with all the vetoes. Now, the autism services came back, but there was a lot of things that didn't.
The fact that we only were able to get to a budget agreement, though, by tabling the centerpiece of her campaign and the #1 issue for so many Michiganders, which is fixing the roads, is still a bad sign for where we are right now, especially as you and I were talking earlier. You figure they've probably, whatever they're going to get done this year probably needs to get done by June before the election cycle starts, and then you can't get anything done.
Absolutely. The legislature has to have a budget to her by July 1st, so they're going to be fighting about the budget. She's not going to come back with another big tax increase proposal for the roads, but you know, that was her main campaign promise when she was running for governor, to fix the damn roads. And we have to see something, whether or not it's going to be just a one-time infusion like the Republicans would like to do, or if there is a more substantive discussion about how things can progress and get fixed. I think that there is a general agreement that things have to be done. A long-term fix has to be developed, but I don't know if we can get there or not.
You're kind of pessimistic about the likelihood of us getting anything done in the next 6 months on this.
Well, I mean, in the election, we've got all the House up for grabs, and there's a possibility that the House could flip to Democrat. It's a much closer margin right now, and the Republicans are going to try everything in their power to hang on to the majority.
Lastly, I ask you about some of the biggest issues that I thought you thought were going to get a lot of attention, and one of the one you mentioned immediately was criminal justice reform.
They've started on that. The House has passed a lot of different bills, expunging records on a lot of different things, and making some substantive changes for that. And that's been happening around the nation. And I think that that's going to be one of the centerpieces that almost everybody can agree on.
Fascinating to watch, and of course it will be as this legislature develops. That gives us something even more to talk about in 2021.
Absolutely.
Because if things should change, then it changes all of the dance cards. Kathy, thanks so much, and thanks for so many great years of reporting at the Free Press.
Oh, thank you so much, Devin.
Yeah, you bet. Back with more. We'll bring in Sandy Barua to talk about what's ahead for the city of Detroit. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.